Okay, we're not gonna do the intro for too long this time. Howdy, y'all. Welcome, welcome back to another stream. Hi. I've had to adjust a few things, so we're gonna see how this goes. The last stream, I don't know if you saw, it was kind of choppy. I don't know, since they did the update. Things have been a little weird in terms of the FPS department, so it might look a little more scuffed than usual, but I think we've got it at a decent spot to have a bit of fun. But yeah, howdy y'all. This is Weston, and yeah, we got a long week of gaming ahead of us, and we'll kind of talk about that throughout the stream today. But welcome. I hope everyone's having a good weekend. I hope everyone's having fun with Power Play 2.0. And yeah, today we're going to be doing some Elite Dangerous, and you know, it'll be a chill stream. I am going to show you guys how to make like merits, like the fastest way to make merits, and until we see if they nerf it or not, we'll see. I don't think they will, but yeah, we're basically going to be hauling stuff most of the time today, but you know, I might hop over, show you my Mandalay build, all of that good stuff. And yeah, this is really all I've done for the past few nights. You know, unfortunately, I did not have a chance to stream just because I had work the past couple nights. So outside of work, it's basically just been like, okay, I can't sleep. I guess I'm going to do more of this. You know, I want to try playing around. And then you got the fleet carrier jump times are kind of wild right now. So I haven't really been able to move around the bubble. I've basically been stuck in Ashling space pretty much since we got here last time I streamed. And yeah, it's been a lot of work. So I am not quite top 10 Feetpics enjoyer, but I think I'm pretty close. We're getting there. Is this good enough? I don't even know anymore. So yeah, if anyone is wondering, you know, how to get merits since they took out exploration, that's what we're gonna do today. Hey, that's basically all I've done for like 3 days straight. But yeah, it's really easy. It's just kind of mindless. Yeah, unfortunately, I do not have any music going on today. That is going to be part of some of the issues that we were having with the last stream, I think. So yeah, we're just gonna chill in silence and enjoy our time together in the cold void of space. So yeah, so you know, we'll be talking about some other stuff throughout the stream and plans for the week and all of that, but we're gonna go ahead and get started up here. So merits, yeah, those things. How do you get merits? You know, there's a lot of different ways to do it. They all have very different and varied amounts that you can get from it. I honestly think if they don't nerf this, then they are going to have to buff the other things because it really is just completely lopsided in terms of how to do things. Basically, we are going to be doing rare goods hauling most of this stream. That's pretty much it. That's really it. They disabled trade and exploration. However, rare goods are still here. Now, I don't think they are going to do too much with rare goods. They might nerf the amounts, but in terms of rollbacks or anything like that, I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case. Just for the pure and simple fact that rare goods, the way that they work, there's only a limited amount available for sale at any given time. First of all, oh, there we go. Okay. It's really entering and leaving the stations, man. The FPS just really drops when I'm trying to stream. I don't know what's going on. It's not preloading the shaders or something. I don't know. But aside from that, yeah. So rare goods, you know, to do this, you've really got to do like a lot of hauling. Right, there's only a certain amount of rare goods available in any given system at any given time. Right, like there's a cap on how much you can buy, and beyond that, the way rare goods work is it's not like trade where boom and bust and all of that stuff kind of affects prices, and you know you check in Nara for whatever the best route is or whatever. It doesn't work like that. It's all based on distance. So to really get the most out of rare goods hauling, you're going to be looking at distances of like 160 to 165 light years. That's like the sweet spot. You can go higher than that and get a little bit more money from it, but you do get diminishing returns in terms of value over anything 165. And then obviously, if you are closer than that, you are not going to be getting as much when you sell them. So yeah, rare goods hauling. The way I've been doing it is I've basically been going to this little spot around Leasty. You might know Leasty. There is, I believe, an engineer there. There's a couple engineers in that area. It's got the George Lucas station, which is fairly popular, right? And yeah, there's like 5 or 6 systems just in this area that all sell rare goods, and they also sell a very high amount of them in a couple of them. We're not going to do the whole loop, just because it takes like an hour or so for me to do the entire loop once I include, you know, how long it takes my cutter to actually jump anywhere. But yeah, you can do a pretty good loop. You've got like a nice Python or maybe a Type 8 or something like that. I don't have a Type 8, so I don't know what the builds are like for that. I've just been using my cutter. It's big, it's slow, it takes a little bit of time. But you can really haul it through here. Yeah, you basically go through all of these 6 systems, picking up whatever rare goods look good to you. Pick them all up. They're a limited amount. You should not have to worry about filling up an entire cutter of 720, right? It's just, there's not enough to go around. But yeah, you pick up all of the rare goods that you can in this little loop, and then you find a system in your power, an acquisition system for your power, that is about 160 to 165 light years out. You can go more than that if you really want, but that's like the sweet spot, right? And then you rinse and repeat. That's really all you do. That is it. That is how you get merits. That's the big secret that everyone is holding out on, right? I don't care, because after this week, I'm probably not going to be doing a whole lot of this. And I'll be going out and enjoying my Mandalay. But for this first week, you know what? Fine, sure, whatever. Yeah, and I usually make between 10 and 11,000 merits each run. So yeah, it's still a grind. It's still not going to be fast, but it is still time-wise much faster than sitting around doing nothing for 4 weeks and then hauling like one Type 9 worth of goods to a specific system, right? So yeah, overall, I mean, you don't have to do this. There are lots of other ways to get merits. I've done a little bit of AFK bounty hunting, you know, going down to a high-res site, that kind of thing, and that's okay. There's a lot of variables with that, though. Like, if any of you guys have done res sites, you know how it is. You know, it takes a little bit of time to kill the mobs. You kind of have to get lucky. The mobs even keep spawning. Like, there's just a lot. You can run into the issue where too many mobs spawn and the fleet, your station of security is a little too slow to respond. Yeah, there's just a lot that goes into it. But yeah, you know, you can get between 10 to 20 merits per kill there. You know, you sit there for an hour or two, and, you know, you've got a decent little chunk. It's obviously not going to beat this by any stretch of the imagination. But, you know, it's easy. There's really not a whole lot that's involved with it. Yeah, and then, you know, I've done a little bit of like support missions and that kind of thing, but this is definitely the fastest, right? And overall, it's not too big of a deal for me. You know, something to kind of consider is obviously everyone plays a little bit differently. I am not expecting, you know, as someone who has a family and, you know, only plays like an hour a day after work or something like that. For this to really be viable, it will be more viable, I think, than most other things, but it's definitely probably going to be a lot less fun, right? Than just going out and doing some bounty hunting and merking and that kind of thing, right? So, you know, your mileage may vary. I think if you were keeping up with everything, doing your weeklies, you know, doing a little bit of side content for your power, then the way that it's tuned, it seems to be about how it was. It is more work, obviously, but if you were doing stuff you would normally be doing and kind of keeping tabs on your merits, you should be able to get your first module after 4 weeks, right? And then after that, it kind of shotguns you through a few. before it kind of slows down a little bit again. So yeah, it kind of comes and goes in stretches. But for the average player, I would say it's tuned to be about the same amount of time. Not the same amount of effort, because obviously the old power play was 0 effort. You just wait 4 weeks, right? So it is definitely a little more involved. But at the same time, I think a lot of the activities that they have us doing are pretty fun. I've had a chance to do quite a few things that, I had not really done in the game before. I wasn't really super interested in a lot of like ground combat or settlement restore missions or anything like that. Now they're kind of fun. I don't mind them as much as I did. It's still not my main kind of content, right? But I don't mind doing them. I think it's a nice little change of pace. But yeah, don't really compare what you're doing to what I am doing, because again, I'm a YouTube partner that can play several hours a day, right? I'm not expecting anyone to compete with that. You got to do what is fun for you. But if you are someone that is very concerned about efficiency and all you care about is getting those modules and getting as many merits as fast as you can and ignoring all other parts of the game, then yeah, this is going to be it. For me, if I'm not streaming, what I've been doing the past couple of days is watching all of Ranma Half, right? The old school one and the new one. New episodes on Saturday, but mostly a little old one. I'm on season 3 right now. So I literally just put that on the second monitor and don't really have to think all that much, right? So yeah, it's kind of brainless. Doesn't really take a whole lot of thought, but it does take some time. And there's a little bit of risk to it. I have run into power play security, I think once or twice, and that was in Leasty, because it is a fortified, it might even be stronghold at this point, system. So they are more likely to spawn there as opposed to some of these outside systems like Lave right now. So yeah, this is all probably going to change quite a bit. As these systems get pumped up a little bit, if they do go fortified or stronghold, you might have more risk, might have less risk, that kind of thing. So, it kind of comes and goes. But for this first week, getting a nice head start, it's been a nice little loop. Overall, I think, I'm having a decent time with power play. I have to say, I don't necessarily think it's something that I would necessarily feel like I have to do all the time. I'm enjoying it for this first week, but a large part of that is also the fact that I can't move my fleet carrier. It keeps timing out. There's so many people playing right now that the fleet carriers cannot make their jumps. So yeah, there's that to kind of consider. But outside of that, I think it provides a really good roadmap for more casual players, right? If you're kind of bored, you don't know what to do, you don't have a big squadron or something like that, I think a lot of people are going to be able to look at the power play stuff and immediately have a whole lot of options on content that they can complete and have fun with, right? So, I think that is very, very good. I think that it has a lot of direction, and it provides something that I don't really think the game had before, right? Which is really like a set map of progress of things to do, right? If you have a big squadron, you've always got squadron things to do. Like our squadron, I'm never out of things to do with the squadron. We always have something going on. Most of that is completely unrelated to power play. It's its own thing, right? But there's a lot of players that either have small squadrons, they don't have squadrons. Again, you only play 1 or 2 hours a night. That changes things up a little bit, right? And I think for those players, it really does a good job of providing things to do. But that being said, again, I don't necessarily think that is something I personally will keep doing for all that long. I'd like to reach the top 10 within the Ashling supporters for this first week. And then after that, it's kind of whatever. I'll get the modules unlocked when I get them unlocked. That's really about it. Yeah. There are some drawbacks. It is nice that it seems like a lot of the worries that our squadron had with power play before it released ended up not being an issue. Because power play, if you were worried about BGS stuff, if you're worried about your player made faction and all of that, You know, power play, it really only affects the systems near those power play areas, right? So like Ashling is pretty far away from our PMF system. We have some other power play factions that we would have to worry about. I think Yuri is over there, a couple of the Feds, that kind of thing. But I could jump over there, do some stuff with the squadron, and it would not affect anything at all. Being pledged to Ashling, right? And that's kind of nice. We were really worried about, you know, people coming into our space and kind of messing around with the BGS stuff by accident, not on purpose, just inadvertently, because everything you do still does affect the minor factions, right? But that ended up not being worrying. But the downside of that is that if I do want to do power play stuff, then I really can't do anything with my BGS stuff, because again, it's on the opposite, it's like on the opposite side of the bubble. So yeah, I'm kind of locked into doing one or the other, right? So that I'm not a super big fan of. Right now, power play security is not a big issue. I am perfectly fine with that. Keep it as it is, and I will be perfectly happy. If they start increasing power play security in some of these exploited systems, then I'll probably just not do it. All right, I'll yeet myself into the black, and all future Elite Danger streams, if any, will just be me exploring. I don't know, 30,000 light years away from the bubble, right? Because I don't want to deal with that, right? You know, those are kind of minor things. We'll have to see how it shakes out. There's been a lot of people coming back to the game, a lot of new players since the game is on sale again right now, which has been really nice to see. But, you know, obviously that is not going to hold up forever. We'll have to see what the return to the mean looks like. Hopefully we'll have more players than we did before Power Play 2.0, and people will get kind of reinvested in the game again, especially with the announcement of colonization stuff. But, you know, that remains to be seen. So eventually it'll probably quiet back down, and then, you know, you don't have to worry about it. I haven't really worried too much about like the actual strategy or anything. Like, I'm not in any of the power play discords or anything like that. I'm in my squadron discord, and that's it. I don't really care what all of the other Ashling players are doing right now. I don't care what really, you know, alliances or anything like that they've got. I'm just kind of doing my own thing for merits for this first week, and then I'll let them sort out the lay of the land afterwards, right? But you know, it is okay. It is nice to feel like as an individual player I am affecting things. Like, I have single-handedly almost, maybe not completely, like there's been other people in some of these systems, but you know, one merit equals one control point. So just judging by how many merits I have and where I've been turning these things in, like I basically single-handedly put some of these systems that I've been selling at over the line. And it feels good. It feels good knowing that like I don't have to worry about consolidation or one or two power players really kind of controlling the entire faction, right? I, as an individual player, can completely like change the scope of some of these systems. Now, it's only one or two systems. I'm not going to be able to control all of Ashling space by myself, but it does feel good knowing that my contributions actually matter. So yeah, it is kind of nice. It's also been fun, as usual, because this is an Elite Dangerous stream. Seeing people mauled in you know, various places in the internet. People still really mad that power play is available in solo. I saw one person on Reddit that was complaining that playing power play stuff in solo mode is basically cheating, and that it should be open mode only. And like, way to tell on yourself, man. Like, wow, a couple people do an op4 and a few of your systems completely throws you off your game. You're really giving away your game, man. Like, it's fine to just admit that you want to blow up newbies and wave your dick around. Like, that's perfectly fine if that's what you want to do, but don't pretend like it's some kind of like super strategic thing that you're trying to pull here. Like, our squadron is one of the largest in the game. It is one of the largest and oldest factions in the game, period. And we do not give a shit if someone is playing in solo or open. The only thing we are looking at is how systems are affected, where influence is going up and down, and then we make adjustments to deal with that. Because even if everyone was playing in open, it would be impossible for us to see everything going on at any given time. So there's always going to be people doing things in the shadows, no matter what you're doing. It's like that in any game that has a push and pull, like strategic effect like this, especially multiplayer games, right? So yeah, that I had to have a really, really good laugh when I saw that. Because it was just like, yeah, like that's just very blatantly, oh, I'm mad I can't kill other players and show how much of a big dick I am, right? Like that's really all it came down to. Yeah, it's like, it's perfectly fine to not like certain parts of the game and to have your things that you do and let other players do their thing, right? So you know what? You're mad that you can't kill people in open mode because they're doing things in solo. That's fine. Like I don't want to do PvP. So, you know, my option is just as valid as yours. But yeah, that was really about it. I honestly haven't seen too many complaints. Most of the issues right now, I think it's just I think FDev was kind of surprised at how busy it got the past couple days, and especially with it kind of hitting on a weekend, right? Halloween weekend, no less. It's just been a lot of server issues. It was down most of the day this morning. It feels like a lot of the disconnect issues have kind of settled, but as we've seen on my streams here, the FPS itself has really tanked since before the patch. You know, I used to be able to stream this on Ultra with all of my VTube Studio stuff running and you know, the Streamlabs and all of this stuff, right? Not so much anymore. Like, there is definitely a noticeable hit to FPS when anything else is going on. And I don't know what it is. I don't know. It doesn't seem like a memory leak. Like, it's not, when I'm playing on my own, it's not really affected all that much. But there's definitely a noticeable bit going on when you've got other things, you know, running on the computer. So I think a lot of the complaints so far have just been technical things, and it makes sense. I mean, this is one of the biggest patches that they've had in probably several years, from what I understand. Maybe even bigger than the Titans finally going vulnerable, right? So, you know, they'll get it sorted out. It's like that in any MMO. You know, playing those first couple days of just about any patch is always going to be iffy. I think really FF14 is really the only one that I've ever played that is generally pretty smooth on patch day. And even then, we've had a couple of cases, right? Smooth Rock, Raban Extreme, you know, no one is going to be able to completely escape it in the MMO sphere. But it seems like they are working on it. It seems like they're keeping an eye on things, and yeah, it feels like it is slowly getting smoother. I have not had nearly as many Maw Vatters today, and even last night, than I did the first couple of days. First couple of days, it was kind of rough. You get disconnected just warping into a system for the first time, and yeah, lots of little things like that. But yeah, aside from that, you know, it seems like they've changed a little bit of the API things in the background, because I noticed that Inara is kind of wonky in how it updates some things. Part of that is also because ED Discovery has not updated yet. So there's a lot of things there that are not being pushed correctly into Inara. But yeah, if you're trying to use Inara for anything, I think the markets and all of that stuff should still work. You know, general overview, but there's going to be some wonkiness here and there. Like, it still doesn't have me at rank 21. It still got me at like rank 15. So yeah, you know, expect a few things here and there. But yeah, overall, it seems like people are enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. You know, it's a fun change of pace from what we normally do. Now, thankfully, you know, our squadron doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff going on right now. It's kind of quiet. And we're waiting to see how this week kind of shakes things out, right? It'd be very different if this landed when we've got just like a lot of things going on a lot of different fronts. That's not really the case right now. So yeah, it's been a nice little change of pace, and like I said, gives me a chance to kind of explore a few different things and try some new content. But overall, yeah, I think it's overall a very good update. Again, me personally, you know, the power play stuff, controlling aspects of it, not necessarily super important to me. I'm more focused on our squadron and what we are doing in the BGS stuff. But yeah, if you're one of the big faction role players, I can see this being a lot of fun for you. I'm curious to see how things are going to shake out over the next couple months in terms of, strategy in the bubble. It's kind of weird because it gives players quite a bit of things to do individually with the merits. But once you get a lot of people like up there in the ranks, or they have the merits that they want, it doesn't really give you a whole lot, right? So I'm kind of curious how that goes. It'd be interesting to see if they do anything where like, oh, the largest faction, if you contributed, you get this much and that kind of thing. They kind of do it with the leaderboards, but like 100 million for being top 10%. I mean, I have put in a lot of fucking work. A lot of work this past week doing all of these hauls to reach the top 10%. And 100 million is really nothing to me. That is, I've had one planet in ExoBio that gave me 350 million. So it's not really, the money's not an issue. Now the top player, the 1 billion, okay, now we're talking a little bit. Now things are changing. Now I'm a little more interested. But yeah, I don't see a ton of people really grinding this out and trying to reach that top 10% every single week for 100 million credits. Like if they want people to continue doing that and make the leaderboards a good incentive, they're going to have to boost what you actually get from it. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Because after you get your modules, there's really no point to doing a lot of power play unless you are just really big into the faction roleplay stuff, because it really does not give you anything else. I will say the little packages you get every rank are really nice. I do enjoy those quite a bit. They give you a lot of materials, so it could be a good way to kind of stock up on a few like mid-grade materials if you're getting a little low on some of this stuff. It works the same way as any like Thargoid event does, where it's kind of randomized. You get just like a bulk of a bunch of random materials that are chosen out of a list, and they are nice. I do like the care packages, but I don't think that they're enough to really pull people to doing power play once they have what they want. So yeah, they need to have a little bit more incentive. They need a little more reason for your faction to push to be like the top faction. Why would I care about taking down Mayan, right? He's the top faction right now. He's the top power. But really, what does that really affect? I mean, at the end of the day, it might affect me going into some of those places, but that would just be more of a reason for me to just not be in those places, right? So I feel like they would need some rewards for the big things. If this was a truly player-driven economy, those player-made factions, you'd have taxes and you would get a little bit of income from other people coming into your system, that kind of thing. So it's a little different. All right, so just to kind of show you, like there's a little loop. I've done most of the loop. You can hit up Leasty, and then you can also hit up Arc, and then Uza is really good. Uza's a little more annoying. The station for that is like 4,000 light years out. It shouldn't be a problem if you get the SEO, but for whatever reason, just because it's so slow, I never put an SEO drive on my cutter. But yeah, you can do that one as well. Okay, so it seems like, just testing that, it seems like it's the map, which would not surprise me considering I've had other issues with the map UI really tanking the FPS before. Okay. Yeah, it's gotta be the UI. If that's the case, then what I'm gonna do, let's see if it affects things when I change it back to realistic mode. See, look at that. Look at that. We're smooth. Things are looking a little bit better. Yeah, I think it's the new power play UI. I think that's why the FPS is tanking. I thought it was the stations and coming across other ships. They have adjusted a little bit of like the bloom and that kind of thing, but I think it's the UI. I think they got a memory leak in their power play UI. Look at it, just looking at it. Because like I said, I've had issues with the map before. after big patches like that where it just absolutely tanks the FPS. And yeah, I think that might be it. And maybe we have solved the problem. But yeah. So, you know, after this week, we'll see how things go. Right now, the big issue, as I've said, is really just the fleet carrier jump times. I'm kind of stuck here. I can't really go and do some of the things that I want because it is literally timing out. It is not finding any slots. Which, speaking of, you know, I've seen a lot of posts on Reddit and, you know, a few other places saying, hey, I can't build a fleet carrier. And that is why. So when you jump a fleet carrier, you're basically put in order of operations, right? And eventually, if it gets too full, it won't jump you at all. There's a limited number of FC jumps that can happen at any given time. And yeah, after it reaches a certain threshold, it just straight up tells you you're timed out. Like, we cannot find a slot for you, right? It's a very British way of doing things. It's putting everyone in a queue, right? So yeah, building a fleet carrier is essentially the same thing as jumping it. Normally it's a little bit faster, but it's still got to create the point of interest and all of that in the system, right? So it is effectively doing the same thing as a fleet carrier jump, and that takes a little bit of time. So yeah, if they're timing out on fleet carrier jumps, then you're also not going to be able to build a fleet carrier. So if you're trying to purchase your first one and it keeps saying you cannot build one, or it's timed out, or you get the MOV adder, yeah, you'll just have to do it at unpeak times, just like 3 hours in the morning between North America and Europe. That's really your one chance to do it, from what I can tell. Like, I'm in Central Time right now, which, oh boy, we just had daylight savings. It was nice. It was real nice. I like fall daylight savings. I get that extra hour of sleep, man. I needed it. I really needed it. But yeah, so like 2 to 4 o'clock in the morning here in Central Time, that's like when the carrier jump times are back down to 15 to 20 minutes. Outside of that, it's a long wait. So yeah, just you know, hold off on buying the fleet carrier for another week. We'll see if things settle down or they boost up their server capacity on their end. Who knows? But that has been an issue, and yeah, I think it is tied to the fleet carrier jump time. So that's a big thing. But yeah, you know, I really want to go out in the black and just have fun out there with the Mandalay, and just really play around with it. I took it out for like a short little 500 light year little trip. Just doing a little exobio, finding 1 or 2 plants to scan, you know, nothing really groundbreaking or anything like that. But yeah, it hauls, man. It really hauls. And actually, here in the bubble, if I feel like the cutter's too slow and I kind of want to rush things, I have actually got my Mandalay slotted with some cargo racks right now, and I've actually been using that to do some relic runs. Now, it only fits like 36 or something like that. It's nowhere near how much a cutter can fit. But you know, it's like 1,000 easy merits. It's nothing too bad. And the big thing is, it can do this whole route that I've been doing. I can get up there and back in about 2 to 3 jumps. It's much faster when jumping. My Mandalay right now, it's kind of like a dolphin. I can actually do a hyperspace jump while scooping. It runs that cool. So yeah, it is very, very fast. Very fast, huge distance. Really no complaints. I 100% love the Mandalay. It is everything that I was looking for in an exploration ship. And I would really, really like to take it out for my big trip that I've been talking about for the past couple of months. I think it is time. But now I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck in Space Princess space, right? Hey, what's up, Licks? So yeah, it's gonna have to wait a little bit. But I do really, really want to get out there and try it, because I'm going out there. I'm like going other side of Sag A once this thing is ready. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun just flying that thing around. But yeah, I'm kind of getting the exploration itch. You know, that's why I bought the game a year ago. I've been playing it. Yeah, I guess it has been a little under a year now. But yeah, that's the reason I bought it. And yeah, it's been a while since I've done a big trip, so I think it's about time. Oh, well, we'll have to see if it replaces the Cloud Kicker. I will always have a soft spot for my Jumpaconda. Man, the Mandalay is so good. It's so good. I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, until then, you know, until fleet carriers, I can finally move it again. Because I've got to move it twice. That's the tricky part. Because I got to move it to an administration system. I'm actually going to take off a couple of things, and open up a little bit of cargo space, for some tritium. Because I'm going out there a ways, right? Yeah. I gotta figure this out. So I gotta jump into an administration system, and then I gotta jump into the system that actually sells the tritium, so I can load it up. It's just a lot of work. It's very tedious. I say as I've been hauling rare goods and literally doing nothing else for like 3 days straight. Go figure. This one won't even be as big of a haul as I normally have. Curious what this is going to be. That station in what, Usva? The one that's like 4,000 out? Like it's got a good rare good. It sells like 56 at a time, and they sell for a decent amount. I don't think it sells quite as much as Levy and Brandy. I skip Leasty. You could probably go with Leasty if you wanted. Go to George Lucas Station there, but it has 2 rare goods, but they don't have a high cap. It's like 14 of one and like 24 of the other, and they just didn't sell all that well in the system that I've been hitting up. So yeah, I've been skipping Leasty on top of the power play security stuff. So, you know, your mileage may vary. Choose as you will. But the 3 that I did through this loop, Lave, Deso, and Arrear, those are like the big 3. You've got a lot of stuff going on with those 3, and you should be able to make a fair amount of credits, right? You know, the other thing is, like, I've got this big cutter. I think I've got 256 cargo racks in it, so like I'm not filling the entire thing up to begin with. Again, if you've got like a Python or a Type 8 and you've just got like 256 cargo rack, that's more than enough for most of this. You could do just Deso and Arrear, and you would probably be fine. It won't be quite as fast as a full-on cutter. Yeah, you'll be missing a couple of those systems, but you're gonna be getting some merits. So, you know, it'll help out. Again, this is a long-haul thing for most people. I do not expect everyone else to try and burn through to getting that first module in a week like I am. Like, do not do what I am doing unless you just got a lot of free time and no other responsibilities. That's really all I can say. I mean, don't forget, I've got a video on the channel where I completed WoW's archaeology. Unless you have just those kind of brainworms, I'm sorry, you're probably not going to get it in a week. But I think a month is a reasonable amount of time. I think if you're putting in a little bit of effort, I kind of see it as dailies, you know? You hop in, you do a little bit of what you want to do, and then you do like a dailies run of like 1 or 2 rare goods runs. And yeah, you'll probably have it in about a month. You'll get that first module. And then after that, like I said, you get several modules in a row, just like kind of one after the other. Not really too much of a problem. And yeah. So overall, you know, I see people kind of complaining about some of this stuff. You know, I don't think Fiery Toad should have been like rolled back. You know, I think they were pretty dumb about that. Like, if someone put in 2.5 years worth of exploration data and they finally decided to cash it in, like, I feel like they have earned that right, you know. They put in the time. It's not like they're cheesing it or anything like that. Like, they put in the work. So I hope that that they reverse that decision. They give Fiery Toad his rank 100 back. I know with the leaderboards, you know, they're kind of cautious about some of that stuff because they don't want, you know, a bunch of explorers coming back and taking the top leaderboard position every time. That makes sense. But at the same time, like doing that and like caching in all of your data, that is something you can do exactly once, right? That's it. You did it. Time to start back fresh, right? So we'll see how things go. I think they jumped the gun a little bit on that. All right. Yeah, look at that. We just earned, what was that, 7,000 merits just from those 3 systems? Something like that. So yeah, you get a fair chunk. Yeah, what's up, Lix? Let's see. Power perk upgrade. Hey, what did we get? So close. So close. This feels like doing Crystal and Conflict that first season again. That's kind of what it feels like. You guys remember, I did plenty of Crystal and Conflict on stream when that first came out. But you know what? We got it done. So let's go. You know, I might switch over. I might switch up the ship and kind of show off the Mandalay a little bit. It's going to be a lot less in terms of how many merits we're getting at any given time. But I kind of want to show you, I did a little bit of work to it after the last stream. I've got it pretty close to engineer how I want. There's like maybe a couple minor things that I can do with it that aren't really too huge of a deal. You know, eke out that extra like 0.2 light years or whatever. Like that's really going to make a difference, right? So yeah. Where are we at? And there's the Yosemite. Let's do this. But yeah, so there's just an example. That's just from 3 systems. Obviously, you'll get a little bit more if you do the entire loop. But yeah, it's kind of mindless, kind of brainless. It takes a little bit of time. You know, kind of depends on where you are at system-wise, where you want to do your turn-ins and stuff. But overall, you know, it gets the job done. That's really all I can say about it. Now, you know, outside of Elite, you know, I mentioned that we're going to be doing quite a bit this week. I've got all week off. I don't work again until Saturday. Tuesday, obviously a very big day here in the US. Gotta dust off the old salty journalist in me and get back to my bullshit again, right? So Tuesday we are not gonna have a stream. But all of the other days, we got a lot of stuff going on. So we'll be doing some FF9. We got that to look forward to. What in the world is this? What are they doing? What is going on? Who stayed in the mail slot too long? What you guys doing over there? Oh, there's the planet. There we go. So yeah, we will probably do FF9 tomorrow because I am really liking FF9 and I want to get more of that done. We might do another guitar stream somewhat soon. I would like to do one this week. And yeah, just you know, get a little bit more done with that. Get a little more practice in. And yeah, and then kind of depending on how things go, you know, we'll see how this week and next week goes. But you know, we're close to 1,500. Last I checked, we were 7 out, give or take. I never take a look during the streams, but yeah, if we hit 1,500, then you know, we'll probably do an endurance stream. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I've never done one. I gotta get ready for it. But yeah, you know, so thanks a ton everybody that's come in and support the channel. If you have not, you want to see me play whatever game is really coming to mind, yeah, like and subscribe and help get to that 1,500. And we'll have some fun. But yeah, you know, I've been thinking maybe some more a TCG simulator or Shenmue or something. I haven't really played too much. You know, I haven't really seen a whole lot of people doing TCG sim lately. For me, it still feels like a really good Zatsu game, and I don't have nearly as many ghost cards as I want, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, there's just a lot going on. I'd really like to play Veilguard. I really... There's just too many games. There's too many games. Like, I want to play Veilguard. I want to play Memento off stream. I don't know if I can do a 100-hour JRPG on stream. But yeah, you know, Veilguard's out. We got patch 7.1 coming out this month. Yeah, it's just there's just too much, and I don't have nearly enough money for all of it. So, yeah, it's kind of we're just gonna do what we can, and yeah, have some fun. Have some fun, just kind of vibing like we usually do, right? All right, let's get in here and let me show you the old Mandalay. The CGV Jane Goodall, because I figured that would be a very good exploration name. Right. I feel like she'll have a ship named after her someday. If she doesn't already. All right. So the outfitting is a little weird right now because I got the cargo racks on. Let me take off the cargo racks and kind of show you what it actually looks like when it's actually fitted for exploration here. So bloop, bloop, bloop. All right, where's the vehicle hanger? There we go. Which one did I use? I think it's this one. It'll tell me if I picked the right one. Yay, like that, I did. One of them has a scarab end and the other one doesn't. I keep forgetting to go buy one. But yeah, that is the exploration Mandalay that I've got. So yeah, we're doing all right. As far as engineering and stuff goes, you'll notice that you're probably like, wait, why doesn't he have like a heatsink and all this stuff? I'll be taking my fleet carrier out. So I've got the pre-engineered heat sinks from the community goal. But honestly, again, this thing runs so cool. There's very few situations I feel like I've needed it. A lot of what I do with exploration is based on my own experiences of exploring and what I actually use and what I don't. Even with the big old Jumpaconda, I can only think of maybe a couple of times in almost 5,000 first discoveries and God knows how many, 20,000, something like that. Discoveries in general. I can think of maybe 2 or 3 times that I've ever used a heatsink because I got too close to a star or it jumped me in between a couple, that kind of thing. There was that one time when it jumped me right into the cone of a newt, but that was really about it. And it's kind of the same thing. I can put in an AFMU. I don't think I have ever used... No, I won't say that. I have used an AFMU a couple of times, but it's very rare. It is very, very rare. I've got an auto docking. It takes care of all of the planetary landings that I would need. There's really no reason for me to I'm doing this the coward's way out, right? You gotta go full manual or not really playing the game. Like, no, I'm not putting up with that. If I got an auto lander, I'm gonna use the auto lander. After going through thousands of planets and doing this, I'm gonna take the lazy man's out. I will not apologize for that. So yeah, the chances of actually bumping onto a planet and needing to use an AFMU, very, very slim. Very few cases. There's been a couple of times that maybe I've gone AFK and wasn't paying attention, accidentally slammed into a planet or something like that. But it really has not been that big of a deal. So yeah, this is all based on what I personally use, but you can adjust it to taste, right? Like you do what you got to do. I feel like this is a decent baseline for any explorer. And you can kind of go from there and how you want to do things. Like one of my squadron mates has a grade 2A power plant because he's like, apparently the grade 2s are easier to deal with power priority stuff. I don't deal with power priority. It's not even an issue for me. I've got everything on and I'm still only at 85%. Like, I have no reason to care about priority. It takes care of all of it, right? So, do what you need to do. You might be able to eke out a couple more light years going down to a 2A or a 3D and overcharging it, etc., etc. But this is, I feel like, a good baseline. It should be on Inara. I don't know if you can find my Inara, if it's open to the public or whatnot. I have no idea. So yeah, you've got the lightweight alloys. There's no reason not to put heavy duty on it because it doesn't add weight, so it's fine. Power plant, I've got the overcharged with stripped down 3A. Again, adjust to taste. If you are overcharging things, you have a little bit more variables, a little bit more variety than I think most people think you do. You've got options, right? I don't mind the 3A. It might be a little bit heavier, but I'm taking my carrier with me. I don't really care about 1 or 2 light years out of it. But the big thing is the only thing that it overcharged adds is the heat efficiency. Even with 5-star, again, I can jump this thing in the middle of a scoop. So the cooling is not an issue whatsoever with this. So yeah, thruster standard dirty drive is stripped down. I've only got 1 in it. If you really just want to get wacky and put more in it, I guess you can, but I don't really see much of a reason to. I just put the 1 in it so I can get stripped down on it. FCO, standard as always, mass manager 5-star. Life support lightweight, I've only got 4 in that right now because I do not have the Colonia one unlocked. So hooray. Okay. Power distributor, high charge, so this thing can still boost. Yes, even with this being an Explorer and undersized on a lot of things, with the high charge and stripped down, I can still boost this thing. It is not very fast. It's kind of a tricky ship because it sounds like it's a lot faster than it is actually going. But yes, you can still boost with this thing. I love it. I should probably switch my Anaconda over to this. I think it's using the charge capacity or whatever, like the fast charge, whatever that is. Sensors, lightweight, of course. Optional internal, here we go. Fuel scoop, obviously. I don't know if there's a way to engineer fuel scoops. I haven't ever taken a look or unlocked that, but yeah, if there's a stripped down or lightweight version, hooray. Guardian frame, of course, AFMU. Shield generator, I've got this on the enhanced low power shields that are stripped down. Again, I don't care about integrity. If I am bumping into things, I have supremely fucked up, or my advanced stocking computer has supremely fucked up. So it's never been an issue. Again, adjust to taste. If you're someone that gets super wacky and using HOTUS and all manual and all that stuff, you might not want to do this. The integrity might be too low or whatever. Again, personally, after all the exploration I've done, I very rarely bump into things. And even if I do, it very rarely kills me. So I think it'll be fine. Again, adjust as needed. And I think that's really about it. Oh, detailed surface scanner. I went ahead and 5-starred that too, because, you know, we're going to be doing a lot of that. But yeah, I've got the advanced docking computer, Super Cruise, advanced planetary approach suite, all of that good stuff. Basically, if you've watched my streams, I do full auto as much as I can. I don't have a HOTUS set up. I don't care about full manual. It makes it simple, makes it very easy. We are trying to get through a lot of systems and find really cool sites. I don't care about the actual controls of it. I just want to get good screenshots. So that's kind of where we're at, right? So yeah, there you have it. There is your general, and then I've just got the Scarab. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I think this is a good template. So again, you can make adjustments as you need. You know what you like to fly better than I do. Do what you got to do for you. Like I said, you could probably undersize this even more if you really wanted to. A couple of my squad mates really like the dirty drag, like they want it to feel kind of flippy when they fly, so they might want more picks, you know, in dirty drive tuning for that kind of thing. But this should get you started, and you can adjust from there. And then as you can see, max is about 88. 81 is my current right now. You know, if you're not doing a whole lot of planet landings, if you don't have Odyssey or you're not doing XL Bio, you know, you can take that out and you're at a full 90. So, I mean, this thing's got the range, it's got the speed, it's got the boost. I mean, it can do really a bit of everything if you want. So yeah, you know, do what you got to do. But you know, that should get you started, if nothing else, right? All right, so let's go ahead and get in here and do some hauling, shall we? We'll just do like one trip up to Lave and just kind of show you, what's going on up there. See how much just like one run is. Oh, wrong button. Like I said, it should be about 1,000 if I remember right. But the other thing is, like, we've got, take a look how, oh, stations here. How are we looking here? I was trying to get her up to the control. Oh, so we actually do have the control score ready to go. Good to know. So, how are we looking? Oh, no. There we go. There we go. Power play. Just Ashling and unoccupied. Okay. So where are we looking at? A lot of these were smaller. I don't know how many stations they all have. You can probably check that out. I don't know if I've ever been there. We can go give that a shot. So Dakshmandi. Okay. So we will do that here in a second. Now that we've reached the control score for this system, start working on another one, right? I don't know if I'm messing up anyone's big plans or whatever, but you know, that's fine. They'll live. They'll figure it out. They're smart, I hope. See, look at that. We were doing 5 jumps to get up here earlier, and now I'm doing it into 2. So, big difference. Very big difference. You know, I'm only going to be doing, you know, a fraction of the actual merits per run, but I'm getting a lot more runs in per hour. So, it just kind of comes and goes. I still think overall the cutter is the way to go. If you got an actual hauler, like this is the time for the Type 8 to shine, but I don't have that yet, so gotta wait until the end of the month for it. But yeah, if you got a Type 8, I'm sure this is a lot easier, right? And listen to that. Listen to that sound. We can actually turn it up a little bit. Why not? I don't have music going. There we go. Oh. Yeah, I love this ship. I really love the Mandalay. It's better than I even expected. I mean, they said exploration ship and it didn't look super janky. It actually looked good, right? Oh, come on. I'm away from my carrier. There we go. So yeah, it even beat my expectations, and I did have high expectations for exploration ship, right? All right, let's go. So yeah, I think doing Lavian Brandy should get me about 1,000 merits. So I mean, it's a far cry from the 7 we just got. 7 or 8. I didn't quite do the math. It was a lot, right? That's usually my typical run if I'm just like vegging out and having a good time. But yeah, here I'll show you guys the jump on this thing, right? Is my FSD down? Here we go. Am I there? Am I sitting in the star? Here we go. Let's do it. Oh no. Whatever will I do? Nice. All right, but I do need to speed it up a little bit because we gotta do it. But I mean, look at that. We're jumping while scooping, while on top of the star. Yeah, this thing kind of owns. It's like a dolphin. It's a dolphin, mamba, the anaconda all rolled into one. Weirdest combination you'll ever see in a ship, but man, it's really good. I love it. I love this thing so much. Super smooth, super cruise. I don't want to go too long. There we go. Stops on a dime. Yeah, this thing is like super quick to slow down. I've actually kind of had to adjust my SCO stuff because it does stop so fast. Like I keep thinking I'm going to overshoot something and then I don't. I really should have X'd that out. And yeah, I really like it. That was me stopping too soon. Not Xing it out. Hitting that gravity wheel. But yeah, a lot of times I feel like I'm going to overshoot and then I end up stopping too short. So yeah, this thing is great. It's fantastic. And since I have no interest in the Cobra Mark V, my year of new ships is done. We look forward to a new year of new content and seeing where that goes with the colonization stuff. We'll see how long it takes them to get that done. I'm real curious about it. All right, Lave. I don't know when the last time I did just Levy and Brandy was. I honestly don't know how much this is going to give. Like on the low end, some of these systems give you about 800. And then on the high end, as you guys have seen, I get about 3,000 from the really high end stuff. The Aurelian rubs or whatever those were, right? I think that's the one that gives me about 3,000. God, this thing sounds so good. I love this ship. I love it. Oh, it's fantastic. Best ship in the game. It does look a little goofy on the underside, especially with legs down. Like a big awkward bird. But I can see why it kind of looks kind of goofy, because it has a ton of clearance for the SRV when you land. Like way more clearance than just about any of the other ships. So yeah, really nice. All right. There might be 3 jumps back once I'm laden. We'll see. Especially since I'm going to a new system. I've never been to that system, so I don't know. I don't even know if it's got like a starport. We're going to find out. But I figure, you know, I've already put 2 systems under control. One of them is like 1.5 billion. One of them was 1.8 billion. So yeah, we brought a lot of people under the banner of our anime princess, right? I gotta say, it's always a little conflicting being an Ashling supporter. Like, my entire reason for supporting Ashling is ultimately because I like the color blue. That's really about it. Like, if I want to be weird and horny, like, I play FF14. Come on, I'm on Balmung. I got plenty of other opportunities for that, right? It really did just come down to being liking the color blue. That really was about it. But, you know, it's really weird because yeah, sometimes the community does get a little too weird about it. I can see a lot of banners and fan art for these like hardcore Ashling power play supporters, and it's always really bad like AI art. Yeah, it just went into stable diffusion. There's one posted on Reddit the other day. She had like 3 nostrils. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Like, AI art is garbage. It's not even really art. Get out of here with that shit. And they're really the only ones to do it. I don't see all of the weird, janky AI art from any of the other powers. So, like, you know, people make fun of me for being an Ashling supporter sometimes. And you know what? Kind of fair. Like, just seeing how other people treat it. But at the same time, like, honestly, I haven't really noticed too many issues. It's just like any other faction, to be honest. I'd rather be here than some of the weird hardcore like the Fed supporters and, you know, the ganker squads and that kind of thing. Like some of like the Fed supporters, like they're very, you can tell who they're voting for this week. We'll just put it that way, right? And I'd rather not associate with them, to say the least. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I don't really see a whole lot of like rah-rah factionism. And maybe it's different in the Discords. I don't know if, you know, the Discords have a whole lot of like really intricate game plans or anything like that going on with how they want to handle their space. You know, like I said a little bit earlier, I just really don't know if there's too much of a point for it other than number go up, right? Which, to be fair, that's also the entire point of our squadron. There's really no point to us owning these systems. We don't get anything from them. We don't get taxes or anything from our player-made faction. But, you know, on something as large scale and as important as power play is to the devs, it does feel a little weird. Like, I don't really see a whole amount of point to having a huge space for your power. Maybe that'll change when they start doing the colonization stuff. Who knows? But yeah, I would like to see there actually be consequences for it, right? But you know, until that happens, I just I'll be hauling these Feetpics back and forth across the ball, I guess, for a little bit of time until I go out into the black and plant the banner of Frog on countless unseen systems. That's really what it's all about. That's really why I'm here. There we go. God, look at that. Look at how cool this thing runs. And that's even with overcharged at 5 slots. That is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, that is almost Dolphin numbers. It's so good. It's so good. And I've seen people, you know, doing some combat and AX builds in this thing. Like, it really is kind of the ship that can do it all. Like, I'm almost tempted, if I can make it back to the bubble by the time Kosijo goes up, like, maybe I will make an AX bomber out of this thing instead of using my P2. Got 3 P2s, but maybe I don't need that many. Maybe my AX bomber P2 is not all it was cracked up to be. Wait, what am I doing? I've got super cruise overcharge. Wee. A little sip. Just a little sip. Let it actually slow down this time. There we go. Hey, new system. All right, time to play this banner. I do think that the actual banners that they put up in the store, they're so dumb. They're so dumb. I like the power play rank decals that they put in the game. I think those are kind of cool. But like, those are free. Those are just for pledging. Like, there's no way I'm paying like 16,000 arcs for an Ashling banner. Especially ones as like kind of weird looking as those are, right? Like, I've still got to buy a Nautilus fleet carrier. I've got other things on my mind than those weird banners. I don't love the power play that much. Now, if they would let us do it for our squadrons, that would be a whole different story. Like, I would love, and apparently I guess the frogs do have a decal. They keep joking about it in our squadron, but I've never seen it. All right. But yeah, I would love a squadron banner. Like, that's where it's at. Like, give me my power play faction banner, if such a thing exists. I don't know if the logos that we made actually exist in the game. Okay, we gotta. There we go. Just you know, get around that little corner, flying a little too close. All right, Havelius Enterprise. What do you got for me here? Wait, did I pick up my care package from the last rank up? I don't know if I did or not. What's next anyways? Oh, no, that's why, because I got search and rescue payouts. I don't think I'll really use that a whole lot, but you know, I don't mind picking up some escape pods now and then. It would be nice if search and rescue included like other things other than just like pods, right? Like, it's really good for right now because we still have Thargoid content, but like once the Thargoids are gone, like search and rescue is kind of like whatever. Right now you can make a lot of money with search and rescue, especially with Ashling, with that 200% bonus. Because yeah, Thargoid search and rescue is mad money. But it would be nice if they included passenger evacs or like settlement reboot missions, that kind of thing. I don't think those are included. You just have to see. Now, I think they are included just like in general support missions, because you can do support missions and get some merits that way. But I've not found any in our space to try and go down and do a settlement restore. So I don't know what the payout is like on those. Maybe they're good, maybe they're bad. Who really knows? It's all up in the air. All of this work that I'm doing on stream might be gone in the wind if they decide to roll everything back and nerf rare goods. So, you know, there's that. In which case, we might not be streaming Elite Dangerous much longer because we've got plenty of other things I can do in the meantime. Where are you? All right, how we doing on this? Oh, that's a fair amount. Yeah, 1,000 merits. 1,000 merits for like 5 jumps. That's not too bad at all. You know, that's reasonable, I think. I don't think that really moved the needle much on the leaderboard. Yeah, I've still got a ways to go. Like, a couple more of, like, the really good runs would be different. But obviously, I am on stream, so we're not going to do that. We'll take the lazy man's way out, right? Actually, I'm going to go to Uza and pick these up because these were really good. These paid out really well compared to some of the others. Yeah. Yeah. And now that I've actually got my SEO drive on, I really just need to get off my butt and go to Shed and buy the SEO on my cutter. The problem is I don't know if I've got everything that I need to actually engineer it right then and there. And then obviously I got to get over to this, got to get over to Felicity again. Farseer, why? Why every time? I really wish we could do we could do experimental modules through the remote engineering, because God, it's so annoying going once I've got, like, I've already got grade 5 access. Like, I feel like that's more than enough to prove that I can do it, right? But, you know, I'll get off my butt and go do it eventually. I'm just boosting because it sounds good. It really does. I love the sound of that. All right, there we go. Here we go, another round. I feel like 3 rounds is good for one stream. That's enough rare goods hauling for you guys. But, you know, this would just kind of hop in and say hi and, you know, I hope everyone had a good weekend, right? So, yeah. I mean, this has literally been it. This has been it since Power Play dropped and my fleet carrier has been stuck here. just putting some anime on the second monitor and just looking at this screen over and over again. Yeah, that's real good times. Oh yeah, speaking of, you know, as we approach 1,500 subs, you know, my birthday is on the 30th, so we might do something fun for that. I don't think it's gonna be, like, I'm not gonna be doing a big party or anything like that. I don't even know who would even call me to do that kind of thing, right? But we'll probably do like a guitar stream for that, and maybe a little bit of light karaoke if my voice holds up, and yeah, just have some fun with that. But it'd be nice if we can get to the 1,500 before the 30th. You know, I feel like we're doing good, and, you know, I'm happy you guys are finding the channel and having a good time. I hope you don't think that Elite Dangerous is all I do, because being a VTuber, I do a lot of things, but I do like this game. So we'll be doing this off and on now that Power Play 2.0 is here. Yeah, I like going out and exploring quite a bit too. You know, I'm really looking forward to this trip out. We'll be doing some streams out there in the black, and yeah, I'll kind of show you what I do. It's a lot of trying to find my collection of wonders, right? And like, that's really what it's all about. It's trying to find my system of interest to kind of show everybody, and hope that maybe they want to go check it out one day once we get the colonization stuff out, right? Man, I am so excited for it. It's probably going to be at least a year out. I wouldn't be surprised if they said 2026. Hopefully it's not going to be that long. You know, I feel like a lot of it is like just flags and BGS stuff. They're just triggers on a system in the code, so I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. But some of the mechanics in terms of how it works, I'm sure they're putting some work into it. And obviously they've got other story-related things that they're probably worried about to kind of keep in mind as well. So yeah, we'll just have to play around and see how it goes. Yeah, see what I said? It's really easy to stop too early on this thing. It really does stop on a dime. There we go. Now we'll X out. Oh God, that's on me. That one was on me. I'll get it figured out eventually. Like I said, it's still tripping me up a little bit. It's gonna take some time for me to adjust to it after using like the Python the whole time or my Conda. Yeah, it's way different. And the wild thing is, it takes like no fuel. Like, it just barely sips at it. Just teensy little sip, right? You can really fly in this thing and not have to worry about running out of fuel like you do the others. It's such a good ship. Oh my God, I just completely surprised. And I did, thanks to the guys on Reddit that taught newbies how to turn off the panel down there. So yeah, now I can actually look down without having the role panel popping up. It's just in your ship controls under mode switches. But yeah, it does, you know, whenever I went out and did some exobio, it does make a pretty big difference. Being able to see like what's directly beneath you. It's a really nice view. Yeah, you know, just from the little trip out that I took, I mean, you start looking up and you see this. this whole cockpit. I mean, it's a sight to behold. I really cannot wait for this exploration trip. We're going to be going out there. Oh, there we go. I was getting a little bit of lag again. There we go. And there's the FPS. Man, I really don't know what's causing it. We're not on the map, so I don't know. I thought it was the map. Maybe it's not. Like, they did change the galactic skybox. Like, that... It probably doesn't look that much different now that I have lowered some of my settings. But yeah, they've added some new bloom effects, and, you know, it does look a little bit brighter, a little bit dustier out there. And that could be part of it. You know, maybe the cube map or whatever that they were using is just a little bit too much for my system now. Yeah, there's been a few technical issues, to say the least. But I'm glad that seems to be like the only thing people are having issues with. For the most part, like I've been really happy seeing that. Like, I think yesterday we had like another like 12,000 people playing again. Like, it does seem like people are coming back. And yeah, it's nice to see people excited about the game again, because it really is such a good little game that I feel like has not gotten a whole lot of credit. I know that, you know, there have been big events in the past that kind of turned people off of it, but I think like it was never that big compared to a lot of other MMOs, right? I know space sims are always kind of like a niche thing, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I mean, look at how many people watch VTubers play Outer Wilds, or, you know, that kind of thing. Like, I think there's definitely a demand for good space sims, and I think a lot of people would like this if they gave it a chance. So, you know, I'm doing my part to kind of showcase what it's all about. Maybe not in the best case, because I'm doing some grinding right now, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things you can do in this game that I'm not showing right now, that I think people would really like. And yeah, if people start coming back to the game and they do end up liking Power Play 2.0, then, you know, hopefully they tell their friends, and those friends tell some more friends. And instead of just relying on older players coming back to the game, hopefully we can get some actual, like, new players, right? I think that would be really nice. I know, you know, people say it's got a bit of a learning curve, and I think it does in terms of just like learning all the systems, but like the flight and all of that, like if you played No Man's Sky or some of these other big space sims, I think people will pick up the flight faster than they think, faster than current players think. It's really not too bad if you've played other video games, right? I mean, it's definitely more complicated, but I think you can definitely pick it up. But yeah, just in terms of learning some of the systems, it does rely pretty heavily on like third-party websites and stuff. I've always almost always have like a Wikipedia up or that kind of thing to, you know, see my engineering mats and all that. But, you know, again, if you're an MMO player, like that's kind of standard anyways. Even in FF14, I'm constantly looking at Game Escape to try and figure out like where to find certain gathering materials and stuff, right? That's just par for the course these days. That's just gaming. So yeah, you know, I think a lot of the concerns that existed 5 or 6 years ago may not be as much of a concern now. So yeah, if you like space, if you want some good space trucking, give it a look, give it a chance, have some fun. I will say, as much as I do make fun of the spreadsheet nerds, a lot of that is because I am not usually asking for advice and they feel like they need to give it anyways. If you are actually asking for advice and genuinely need help, then yeah, that community is great. You are not going to have a problem getting answers to your question in this community. So they're almost too helpful, to say the least. So yeah, you know, keep that in mind too. You'll always have people that are in the game that want to talk about it. As much as they might make fun of aspects of the game or be salty about certain things about it, I think ultimately a lot of the people that are playing this do genuinely love the scope of the game and just exploring space, because it does a very, very good job at that. All right. We are really booking it now. Like, you compare the time that we did this to the cutter, and I mean, we're really booking it. I mean, it's a lot fewer per run, but yeah, we're making it in like a fraction of the time. So, you know, what will work best for you, I do not know. I'm sure I could take off this shield generator or lower the shield generator and put another cargo rack in there and probably be fine. Honestly, I probably don't even need the fuel scoop right now. Because 3 jumps, it's really not that big of a deal. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. Try popping like a really nice cargo rack up there, right? And see how that works out. Okay, we're gonna come in at an angle this time. See if I can avoid that planet. Probably not. We're gonna try it. I think I've got an extra 6A cargo rack on the old FC. I don't know. Yeah, that would make things go really fast in this Mandalay. All right. But yeah, you know, I am excited for tomorrow, or for some more FF9. I've been thinking about it the past couple nights. Like, man, should I stream it? Should I stream it? And then I'm just like, no, I should go to bed. I should actually try and rest up since I got actual work that I got to do and go back to the chains of retail. But yeah, I think with this being a long week, we're gonna do some longer streams of it. Now, I think FF8, I wasn't doing the really long streams. We do like 2 hours, maybe tops. I think FF9, we might be able to push it. And especially if we want to start working towards an endurance stream goal for 1500, might not be a bad idea to do some longer ones. So I do genuinely like it. I mean, we're basically just through the tutorial, right? We just hit the forest. Gotta go and save Garnet. And yeah, that's like the intro. It's like the level 1 stuff. So we've got a long way to go. And I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm liking the characters. I'm liking the systems. Thank God I like the systems again. No more junctioning. No more junctioning. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy to be free of that BS, right? So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, I would like to see them do an update to TCG Sim though. Like it felt like it was around for too short of a time. I know Polka has been taking a little bit of break this week because she's been doing a lot of collab and just not feeling as good lately. So I hope hopefully she comes back and might do some more of that. I feel like she was in some of the ways a lot of the linchpin to a lot of the hollows trying to play more of the game. But yeah, we might do that as just like a chills out too. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how things go throughout this week. There's a lot of things up in the air this week. So yeah, we're gonna take it as it comes, right? All right, there we go. But that being said, this is not an endurance stream today. This was I've been working the past couple nights and missed you guys stream. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to hop in and show you what I have been doing in terms of like rare goods hauling and how I've been getting my merits. Wow, it's actually less than the Lavi and Brandy. That is a surprise. That is a very, very big surprise. So let's get down here to the outfitting. Let me take off the fuel scoop. I'm gonna take off the fuel scoop and see if we can get up there. I'm very curious about this. I also don't know if a grade 6 cargo rack weighs more or less than the fuel scoop does once it's got stuff in it. Yeah. Oh, it actually doesn't have any weight. Okay, that might be an issue. that might be trouble. Yeah, that really cuts down on my jump. That's a problem. Yeah. I would almost rather keep it as it is then. I didn't realize it was going to cut it down that much. Uh, Interesting. All right. That's fair. That's fair enough. Now I know to go for the Lavi and Brandy instead. I really thought those tree grubs. I really thought maybe people in waifu space really wanted to eat some bugs, but I guess not. We're not going the Hachima route here. But yeah, you know, overall things are going good. See where I'm at. Did I get another rank up yet? Probably not. I got to get to 159. That's fine. That being said, I think that'll be all for today. I'm not gonna sit here hauling for another hour, right? But yeah, thanks a ton for coming by. I just wanted to give some updates on how things are going in Power Play 2.0, what my thoughts on it are, what my thoughts are about the overall census right now. And yeah, I like it. I like it. Not a long-term thing for me, but for other players it might be. Gives people a lot of options on things to do that actually like has a point, which is nice. So yeah, you know, give it a shot. I'll probably be switching it up after this week. I would really like to get in the top 10 for this week, and then after that, probably never touch it again. We'll just have to see how it goes. But that being said, you know, I hope everyone's having a good time and having a good weekend. We will be back tomorrow with some FF9. I don't know what time. As usual, like, subscribe, follow me on Blue Sky, all of that good stuff, and you'll get the frame when it goes up at least an hour ahead of time, so you know what's up. But that being said, everyone enjoy the start to your week. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye.